Good morning, cubies and newbies. I'm Sunshine. Evidently, I'm having some bandwidth problems today, because that's not supposed to happen. Am I actually? So, if that happens again, I will log back on and say goodbye and call my cable company. So I won't just abandon you. If I ever freeze out like that, I will come back and say hi. Tell you what's going on. So everybody here. Okay, so I was saying that I've got yellow on top on all but 4 corners, but I need to get the yellow on top on all 4 corners. So this, I've forgotten which way I was holding it, so we're not gonna worry about keeping the cube stable because for the first 4 corners. The only reason I teach you about keeping the cube stable for the first 4 corners is because the second 4 corners are always done the exact same way. So I teach you one way and one way only, and it works all the time. So there's a yellow on these 3? Is there a yellow on this one? No. Is there a yellow on the one below it? No. So we rotate the bottom by quarter turns till that answer is yes. And then formula A will bring the yellow to the top. Up, down, and up. It will be done less than 6 times because 6 times gets you back to whatever your start orientation was because of the mathematics of the cube. So yellow's on top on all 4 corners. That's the first part of the first step. First step is corners. I love it. I love that we live in this is something, what we're doing right now, live streaming, what we're doing right now is something that we only dreamed about when I was a kid. This was part of the they had this on the Jetsons, which was the space age equivalent of the Flintstones, which was the Stone Age equivalent of daily life. So yeah, the little Jetson kid went to school over the computer and we're like, wow, wouldn't that be interesting? And now here we are. We live in the future. You guys have no idea how exciting this really is to live at this time. So yellow's on top on all 4 corners. The next thing to do is to look at we've been ignoring everything but the yellow, but each corner actually has 3 colors. So we need to look at the other color, the side colors, the rim colors of the yellow to see how they line up. And at this point in time, one of 3 things can happen, and only one of 3 things. Either all 4 of the corners match to each other, or none of them do, or one side matches. Because of the mathematics of the cube, you can't have 2 match and not the other ones match, unless you've been peeling your stickers off. Don't peel stickers off. Or your corner got twisted. If your cube is in if your cube is in a solvable position, then that's what everything I'm saying is okay. I'm thrown off my flow by those stupid freezes that I had to reset from. So wow, got a lot of people here this morning. Just think, you guys are going to be able to say that you were some of my first followers before I blew up and had millions of followers. Okay, so. This one, orange does not equal blue, red does not equal orange, blue does not equal red, so there's one side that matches. If there's no side that matches, it doesn't matter which way you hold the cube at this step. But if there's one side that matches, you hold the cube so the matching side faces away from you. And then what we're going to do, either way, we're going to do the same next step, which is going to be formula B. Formula B is going to move 3 pieces around. It's actually going to move these 3 clockwise, which is going to move this one over here, which has the effect of these 2 staying the same and these 2 switching places, but really they have moved. And so I'm going to do formula B, 1 row, 2 columns. The 2 columns, easy to determine. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion. No, thank you. That is a bother. Okay, so top row, first column, second column, slide up, slide up, slide down, and that moved these 3 pieces around, but we already know how to move the yellow back to the top, so we just go right straight back into 1, into formula A. Okay, yellow comes to the top, slide the top to protect this one, keep going with this one. We're going to keep doing formula A until yellow is back, back on top on all 4 sides, which mathematically is going to be a multiple of 6, because the cube math takes care of you. Multiple of 6 means that all the rest of the cube is not going to have changed a bit. So yellow, for example, now that our yellow is done, we can put the yellow face down and we can do the same thing for the second 4 corners. And when we do, at the end, our yellows will still be solved. Now, we're abandoning the yellows, which means that if we look at the yellows while we're halfway through a step, the yellows are going to look like they broke, and we're going to have to start all over again. That's not true, because the formula A and formula B are not going to mess up anything that's already been solved. It's only going to move the pieces that you want to move, so you don't have to. The only way that you can mess up the rest of the cube is by rotating the cube mid-step instead of just rotating the top. So this one's white, this one's white, this one's white. We'll start with this one. Formula A, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. I've started moving. If I rotate my cube now, the yellows will lose themselves. But right now, as long as I don't rotate the cube, the yellows are going to be fine. So this one's correct. I rotate the top row and keep the cube stable to move this out of the way and continue on this corner. If I had moved the cube, the yellows would be scrambled. But because I'm holding the cube stable, the yellows are not going to get messed up. So I continue with formula A until the white's on top here. And yellow's back, white's back on top. Now we can check the yellows. Yep, they're still happy. They moved around, they had a field trip, but they came back. Everything's fine. And so again, white's on top. We check the side corners. Either all of them match, none of them match, or one of them match. If one matches, it faces away. And if none of them matches, it doesn't matter which way we hold it, because we're going to do formula B to move 3 pieces around, and A to bring it back to the top. So slide up, slide down, and again, that was formula B. Formula B never messes up the bottom. Okay, formula A to bring the white back to the top. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And yes, if we look at it halfway through, we're like, oops, we messed up the yellows, better start again. No, you didn't. Trust the cube. So, yellows on top, hold the cube stable, slide this out from the right column, from the front right top to the front left top, and so that your thumb can protect it. And we continue with this one. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide the top to protect it, keep going. Slide the top to protect it. White's on top now, yellows are still happy. So the first 4 corners are correct to each other, the second 4 corners are correct to each other. All we have to do now is rotate the top row until the top and bottom are correct to each other, and boom, our corners are done. And it is the exact same on this cube as it is on every other cube. But I'm going to work on my 3x9 to demonstrate the different ways of that. Let's see. I have a pop-up that I have to deal with. Okay. All right, so let's try. I'm let's find a yellow corner. Okay, here's a yellow corner. Okay, here's a yellow corner. I'm going to bring the yellow corners to the top. Before I do, I have to make sure that my centers are in a horizontal position, so that when the whites and yellows are done, I'll be able to move the center lasers. If one of them is off like this, they won't turn. So I've got to line up. So with this being the corner I'm going to use, first thing I need to do is make sure that these are in horizontal position, and they are. So that's good. Second thing I do is make sure that these match up with the ones on the bottom. Okay, so here's my yellow. I look at this corner. Is there a yellow on this corner? No. Is there a yellow on this corner? Yes. So formula A, bottom row, right column, is going to bring that yellow to the top in less than 5 or less turns. Yellow's on top, good. So slide the top row away to protect this corner because it's correct now. It's where we want it to be. Is there a yellow here? Yes. So formula A, yellow's on top, slide it. Is there a yellow here? Yes. Okay. All right, so yellow, first 4 corners, yellow's on top. I check the sides. Orange does not equal red. Green does not equal blue. Orange does not equal red. Green does not equal blue. Since this is my first four corners, there's a shortcut I could take. I could just do right to, front to, right to, and they're correctly placed. But that doesn't give me the opportunity of showing you how Formula B works. So I'm going to leave them. So since neither side matches, doesn't matter which way I hold it, and I'm just going to do Formula B. Slide the top first up, slide the top second up. Every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the reverse, and then there's an up and an up and a down and a down, down and down. So this corner stayed the same, these three moved, and we're going to Formula A to bring the yellow back to the top. Out, down, in, up, slide the top to protect it, and because none of them matched when I finished doing the B and A, now one side will match because of mathematics of the cube. So yellow's on top again, green does not equal orange, blue equals blue. So one side matches, it faces away, and I do Formula B again. Slide up, slide down, and Formula A to bring the yellow back to the top. And when the yellow's back on top, the sides match, and we're happy. Okay, so put the yellows face down, do the exact same thing for the whites. The white is not anywhere, so let's just hold it however we want to. And the yellows are going to scramble, but they're going to resolve themselves because Formula A and Formula B do not threaten them. So, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. White's on top, slide the top to protect it, keep going. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. White's on the top layer, but not the top face. Keep going until it's on top. Okay, we're not going to look at our yellows yet because they're scrambling themselves. But when all of the whites are on top, that's when we're going to look at the yellows again. Okay, white's on top, we check our yellows, yep, they're still happy. Okay, and so now we can look, we have blue does not equal orange, green does not equal blue, but red equals red. So the red faces away from us as if we're in a car driving away with the headlights. And now we're going to do Formula B again, and A to bring the whites back to the top, and when we're done with that, the top four corners will match. Slide up, slide up, slide down. Again, Formula B does not threaten the rest of the cube. And Formula A to bring them to the top. As long as we don't look at the yellows until all of the whites are back to the top, the yellows will still be happy. And there we go, yellows are still happy. Whites are now happy to each other because the whites on top corners match the sides. Side corners match each other. So now we just look at the top and the bottom. Orange does not equal green. Green equals green. So now our four corners are correct to each other. And you can already see that the center layer is horizontal and the layers for the top and bottom match. All right, so when the corners are done, that dictates what side every other color is going to be. So I've been trained my eyes to look for white and yellow, so I'm going to keep looking for white and yellow. So I'm going to hold the cube so that white and yellow are yellow and white are left and right. Yellow and white are left and right. This way or this way, doesn't matter which way, but yellow and white are left and right. Now I'm going to look at all the pieces and all of the center pieces to see if I have to find my yellow and white pieces. That's not a yellow or white, that's not a yellow or white, that's a yellow or white. But my active color is in the front, not on top. I want it to be on top. So I flip the cube so it goes from front to top. My yellow and white are still left and right. And so now this is the piece that I'm going to move to this. I'm placing the opposite edges. The yellow and white edges are what I'm placing next. So white's on top, front color is blue. Bring the corners together as a unit now to match the front color. So bring the corners to match the front color. So, and then so the blues match and it's white. So we need to determine which direction white is going, either to the left or to the right based on the corners. And this is the yellow side, this is the white side. So this piece wants to land here. The blue and the white edge wants to land between the blue and the white something corners. So this will end above here. And when we did formula excuse me, when we did formula B with the top row and outside columns, it moved corners. We're still doing formula B, but we're changing the cube that we want to move dictates what those columns are. Excuse me, I've got itchy nose. Okay, so the first column is where it wants to land, and the second column is where it begins, which on a 3x3 it's easy to tell. The larger you get, the more complex cubes you get. You just have to follow the piece that you want to move. So this is the piece I'm applying formula B to. So top row, first column is where it's going to land, second column is where it is. So slide up, slide down, and that cube is placed. Okay, look for another yellow or white. There's one. Flip it, cube, so that it's on top. Yellow and white are still left and right. Line up the corners to match the front. Determine its direction. First column, second column. Away. Up, down, and it's placed. Here, look for more yellow or whites. Here's one. Flip the cube so it's on top. Colors on top. Yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front, and determine its direction. It's going to the right this time. So this is the first column, this is the second column, and we start by moving away from the action. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And it's placed. And we're just doing that over and over again until there's no more yellow or white in the middle area. Hold the cube so yellow and white are left and right. That's not yellow or white. Here's one. Okay. Bring the corners to match the front. Lather, rinse, repeat. It's going in this direction because the white wants to land, white and orange wants to land above the white and orange. So, away, up, first up, back, second up, away, down, back, down. Okay? And we keep doing this for as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle. Okay? Corner colors on top, yellow and white are left and right. Corners match the front. Determine it's going in this way, so we start by moving away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Da, 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 da. Hi, if you've just joined me, I am Sunshine, and I'm playing with my Wood Eden 3x3x9. I've got the corners done, yellow and I'm working on the opposite edges, which are the yellow and white edges. I'm holding the cube so yellow and white are left and right, and I'm looking for any yellow or white in the middle on the edge pieces. And I've run out of them, so now we assess. So I look at the yellow and white side to see if they're correct. And either they are correct, or some of them are not. Okay? So this piece, for instance, has a yellow or white, but it's placed incorrectly. So I'm going to apply yellow and white are left and right, but this piece is incorrect, so I'm going to affect it. Okay? So I'm going to do formula B to put something here into this spot, which will move this out to the middle where I can place it. So yellow and white are left and right. This one needs to move away, up, in, and then that tells me which column I'm in. Away, down, in, down. Okay? So now I have yellow or white in my middle again. Yellow and white are left and right. Colors on top. Corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. So I start by moving it away. The two columns are where it's going to land and where it begins. So, away, first up, back, second up, away, down, back, down. Okay, and we're just placing one piece at a time for as long as there's a yellow or white to place. flip the cube so color's on top, yellow and white are still left and right, corners to match the front, determine its direction, and start by moving away. First up, second up, first down, second down. Okay. There's another piece. Bring the corners to match the front color. Okay. It's going in this direction. So first column, second column, away up, in, up, away down, in, down. Okay. No more yellow or whites in the center, so we assess again. These whites are correct to each other. These yellows are correct to each other. So opposite edges are done. Yay! Okay. We're still working on edges though, but now we're going to work on the side edges. So we're going to put the white face down. We're going to abandon the white. But we're abandoning the white, but the white is there as our visual clue to remind us which columns we're working on. Because now that we've done those edges, they show up for us. Which doesn't matter on a 3x3, but on a larger cube, the more columns you have, you can get distracted. So, opposite edges are done, working on side edges. So we can only really work on, because we're only really working on this center column here. Okay? We want them to match. Okay, so this one is correctly placed. The yellow and or blue is correctly placed between the yellow and blue. So this one's correct. This one is not. This one's not. It's green and red and wants to be between the blue and red. So we're going to start by displacing this piece. Okay, we're doing it by we're taking a yellow that's correctly placed. We're throwing it down to the side. We're displacing it on purpose so that we can now start working on the side edge places. Okay, so we're going to displace this orange, yellow, up, up, down, down. Okay, so this yellow, flip back and forth. So this yellow will eventually find its way back to the top, but we're going to ignore it for now, and we're going to work on the piece that is not yellow. Yellow is the top color piece, top color that does not have top piece that doesn't have a top color. So it's green and orange, or green and red, sorry, holding the top, rotating the whole entire cube until the corners match the front. So here matches green matches the green. It's going in the red direction. This is the orange direction. This is the red direction. So this cube is going to go over here. Away up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And there the white is blatantly there to tell you which way we're going. So now, ignoring the top, this cube is placed correctly over this. Okay. Here is a green and orange. Okay. Blue corners are facing the front. Bring the corners to match the front. This is the orange direction here, so it's going this way. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, so this is placed correctly. Find this one. Blue and red. Corners match the front. It's going in the red direction. Up, up, down, down. Yellow made its way back to the top, so set it and reassess. The yellow, the orange and blue is between the orange and blue. This one is between these ones. The center pieces are now correct. Okay, so I can try to line up my center pieces, but it's not really working. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to, at this point in time, back to the way they were. All right. So the yellow, the 3x3 side is done, and it's the 3x9 side that I have to work on. So, this is a good place to pause this. Do you guys? I'm gonna wait for some feedback from you guys. Do you want me to continue with this? Is anyone interested particularly in this right now, or is that a good place to pause? All right. I could do the opposite. I could finish on these other cubes. I'm feeling like that's a good place to pause. I'm going to go feed my face and feed my cat. And thank you for joining me. I will be calling my cable company to try to find out why there's a problem. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Love you guys.